despite the acts that government evacuation back home amid a Russian invasion. Sumy in northeast Ukraine is close to the Russian border. The federal government has evacuated more than 1,000 Nigerians who made it out of Ukraine to neighboring countries such as Poland and Romania, but the students in Sumy are yet to find a way out of war-torn Ukraine. The students said they have dwindling access to food, water and electricity. They also said they wake up most mornings to the sound of explosions and spend hours in bomb shelters beneath their hostels. Meanwhile, another set of Nigerians fleeing the crisis in Ukraine have been successfully evacuated by the federal government. The 306 Nigerians arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport this morning. They were brought home via an air peace flight from Budapest, Hungary, where they had crossed over to safety from Ukraine. This is the fourth batch of the returnees in the ongoing evacuation approved by President Muhammadu Buhari. While welcoming the returnees on behalf of the federal government, Director General of National Emergency Management Agency NEMA, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, informed them that President Muhammadu Buhari had approved the evacuation back home to safety and also provided a sum of $100 to be given to each of them in aid of their transportation to their various locations. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says its operatives have intercepted about 300,000 tablets of tramadol, diazepam, Swinon, rohypnol, and XO5, along with other illicit drugs in major operations in Delta, Bauchi, and the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. A statement by the spokesperson of the NDLEA, Femi Babafemi, said 41 suspects were also arrested in raids in Abuja and Kaduna State. The statement said at least 30 suspects were arrested at Malali area of Kaduna during raids aimed at destroying drug joints across the state, while commending officers and men of agency for the arrest and seizures. Chairman Chief Executive of NDLEA, retired Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Mawa, charged them to remain vigilant and on the offensive until all drug cartels in Nigeria are completely dismantled. And the Department of Justice of the United States of America has declined comment on the planned extradition of suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari. The Justice Department, however, reiterated that Kyari is facing charges filed in 2021 which led to his indictment, adding that he would be offered legal representation in the U.S. The Director of Media Relations of the United States for any defendants. You're still watching Osrc News at 7 after the break. We bring you more stories. Please stay with us. Thank you very much for joining us on the news. So visit the station's website. On TV, you can watch us live on our website and on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel Osrc TV Ondo. Christians have been encouraged to remain focused in service to God and humanity. A cleric, Archdeacon Michael Adetiba, gave the message at the 9th consecration of the Bishop of the Akure Diocese, Right Reverend Simeon Borokini, at the Mount Zion Anglican Church, Egoba, in Akure, the state capital. Bisola Luko captured the event in our report.
The Bishop of Anglican Communion Akure Diocese, Right Reverend Simeon Borokini, annually celebrates God's faithfulness since he became the Bishop of the Diocese. 9 years down the lane, numerous achievements have been recorded, including Vocational Center for the Youths, free loan to widows, Health Care Center, among others. Officiating Minister Archdeacon Michael Adetiba, while eulogizing the virtue of the bishop, urged members to eschew idolatry in the Church of God and remain focused in His presence.
As a diocese, like some saying Ebenezer, thus far God has helped us.
To the celebrants, writes Reverend Simeon Borokini, God has been the pillar of his success in the ministry.
God has been assisting us in terms of spiritual and physical development, and we can see development in every ramification. We have planted more churches, more members have joined the fold, especially in the Anglican Church of Akure Anglican Diocese. Some who have left the Anglican Church, some have returned back to the Anglican Church.
His wife, Mrs. Christiana Borokini, and other church members express their appreciation to God.
Give glory to God Almighty, because He has been helping us. We will gather together in the cathedral to pray for Nigeria, pray for our state, pray for ourselves. And God has been doing wonders. Testimonies have been coming.
Venerable Stephen Fagbemi said the anniversary was to thank God for sustainability of the bishop's life and the church as a whole.
It's tradition for us that every year we celebrate the anniversary of the consecration of our bishop. It's an opportunity for the bishop to thank God for giving him the privilege to steer the ship of the diocese.
Highlight of the event was the Widows Empowerment Program initiated by the bishop's wife, where widows of the diocese were given interest-free loan for their businesses. Bisola Aluko, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, Christians have been admonished to continue to pray for their eventual salvation as the end time draws nearer. The General Overseer Prayer Center Church of God, Prophet Samson Oluwamodede, gave the admonition at the 5th anniversary and Thanksgiving service of the Mount Olive branch of the church at Araromi area in Akure, Ondo State. Osrc Zemo Ebiemi has more.
The 5th anniversary and Thanksgiving service of Prayer Center Church of God was an eventful one, as the service was filled to capacity to mark the day. The service with the theme, God the Almighty, was to appreciate God for sparing the lives of the congregants. The General Overseer, Prophet Samson Oluwamodede, thanked members of the church for their contribution to the development of Mount Olive Branch, Araromi, Akure. Prophet Oluwamodede urged the congregation to put in more efforts in their prayers and win more souls for Christ.
What is happening globally now indicates that what Jesus said, these are the signs. Seeing problem here and there, the tribulation, war, rumor of war, you see pandemic, all sorts of things, you see famine, globally, everything turned upside down. So my message for the members and the entire Christian body is to separate themselves from the world. Everything in the world is evil, and live an holiness life.
The pastor in charge of Mount Olive Branch, Pastor Sunday Adeomi, and others were full of appreciation to God.
We bless God. The program has been inch free all the way.
God supported us, that make everything to go well. So we really bless God.
This is a great development in the ministry. I appreciate God for that.
In this church, we are all alive. We have every reason to thank God, and we give thanks to God every now and then.
There are many gods, but in our case, we are serving the mighty God, and the Lord has done so many things that we must put in remembrance, and we should continue with that God. And those who have not known that God, it's high time they embrace the God.
To cap the Thanksgiving service were cutting of the cake and songs rendition by congregants. Zemo Ebiemi, Osrc News.
And as part of its humanitarian services to agenda societal development, the Perfection Charity Ministry has reached out to the Agoirite settlement in Akure, the state capital. The founder of the ministry, Victoria Oluwalusi, said the move was to reduce the neglect and stigmatization of leprosy in society. Bisola Aluko reports that the resident of the leprosarium was happy about the kind gesture from the organization.
Experts experts and advocates of development have opined that synergy between governments and non-governmental organizations is the way to true societal progress. And in furtherance of its humanitarian services, a foundation, the God of Perfection Charity Ministry, is giving back to the society with its donation of food items, including drugs, toiletries, school bag for children, among others. The foundation sees to the welfare of residents of Leprosarium and the education of their children. The founder of the ministry, Victoria Oluwalusi, said the residents of the Leprosarium should be supported to lead meaningful lives.
We are just here just to help the less privileged people, because some people, like what they said, that people, they don't recognize them. But for what I passed through so many years, God just revived me back. So since then I make a vow that every year I will come down to come and celebrate them.
Chairman on the event, Bankole Fakende, said reaching out to the less privileged is the core value of the ministry.
It's one of the ways to help the less privileged, and we made it our concern to make sure we help them.
Residents of Agoireti settlements were also given health tips and family planning advice. The secretary of the Leprosarium, Oluwatimileyin Tunji, thanked the foundation for their constant support.
These people has been coming for a long time from America. They are the children of Akure, and they always remember the people in Agoireti here. Since about 4 years ago, they've been coming here with all type of gifts. They are around trying to put smiles on our faces. You see, we really thank God.
Beneficiaries appreciated the kind gesture. God of Perfection Charity Ministry promised to keep up their humanitarian services to mankind. Bisola Aluko, Osrc News.
It was a moment of joy for Moro Mubo and Olumide as the two lovebirds exchanged marital vows. The wedding ceremony took place at Christ Apostolic Church, Okegan, in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Osrc's Esther Otoyo reports that the event was attended by dignitaries including the Ondo State Head of Service, Mr. Adeniro Adeyemo.
The Christ Apostolic Church, Akure, played host to dignitaries from far and near as Moro Mubo and Olumide pledged before God and man to become one all the days of their lives. The officiating minister, Pastor Daniel Edo, charged the couple to always show love and respect to each other and make God the pillar of their home. A seal of their love affair was then penned into the marriage register before family, friends, and other witnesses. It's a show of love and affection as the couple danced to the admiration of their guests. Chairman on the occasion and Ondo State Head of Service, Adeniro Adeyemo, enjoined the couple not to allow third-party interference in their marital journey.
She should have humility, she should be diligent, she should be humble in all her ways.
Special advisor to Governor Akeredolu on public and intergovernmental relations, Olubumi Ademusu, encouraged the couple to remain faithful to their vows.
She should learn to respect the husband. She should keep her home sacred. She should honor her husband.
For the parents of the couple, it was a moment of unspeakable joy.
As husband, he should learn to say sorry even when he has done nothing wrong.
To the wife, that he should submit to her husband.
I believe she and the husband will also live their life in a Christian way.
Spirit about her and the husband shall be perfected by God.
Beaming with joy, the couple shared their love story.
This one is going to be different from every other person, and I knew that she was the one.
My husband is a very kind man. He's my superhero.
The event featured cutting of the cake and nuptial dance. Esther Otoyo, Osrc News.
Also, according to biblical injunction, a man shall leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and they become one flesh. It is in line with this that Kayode Stephen and Remilekun walked down the aisle at the Church of Christ on the Rock, Akure, the Ondo State capital. Oladoyin Ayegbusi was there and reports that the wedding ceremony was a convergence of eminent personalities. The report.
Marriage, they say, is a union that binds a man and a woman together to become husband and wife. It was therefore a beautiful experience for Kayode and Remilekun as they entered the church to be joined together as one. The wedding ceremony featured the traditional exchange of wedding ring, singing of dotted lines, and exchange of marital vows.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
The presiding minister, Pastor Ayola Iola, said, marriage is a life institution that should be nurtured with love and endurance. In a sermon tag on common things, the cleric admonished the bride to be an uncommon wife in prudent spending.
When we are talking of wives that are uncommon, that means it's not every women that are wives. But we have some that are very, very prudent.
After the service, the couple danced into the reception hall in admiration of guests who had been waiting to catch a glimpse of the latest couple. The couple expressed joy and excitement as they say their wedding was a dream come true.
Feel very happy, excited, and it's like a dream come true, especially when you're actually marrying your dream girl.
Well, I hope for a successful marriage, a marriage that will work, a marriage for Jesus. I hope for a marriage that will last, a modern marriage.
Their parents charged them to always put God first in their matrimony.
They should take a cue from what they have been told in the church, because more shall be said. So it's for them to capture all those things given to them and put into use.
It is my prayer that God will bless the marriage. It will be a blissful home.
They should not deviate from the path where we have made them to tread. They should uphold their faith.
Guests also admonished the couple not to allow the third party in the marriage.
They remain hardworking, they remain focused, and they should adopt the name of Jesus.
They will be helper for each other, they comfort each other, and they advise each other.
They enjoin them to be a shining example to others. Oladoyin Ayegbusi, Osrc News.
The remains of the patriarch of Daji dynasty in Idwani, Pa Sunday Daji, have been laid to rest in his country home, Iyayu quarters in Idwani, amidst pomp and ceremony. At the funeral service held at the Cathedral of the Holy Trinity Idwani, the diocesan bishop, the Right Reverend Adegoke Agara, charged the congregation to do at all times, saying the reward is enormous on earth and before God. Kunle Ariyo reports.
Dignitaries gathered here at the Cathedral of Holy Trinity, Idwani, to pay their last respect to late Pa Sunday Daji. Right Reverend Adegoke Agara said the legacy of good deeds manifested in the life of the deceased. The diocesan bishop said late Pa Daji, who was installed the Alatunshi Okunrin of St. Paul's Anglican Church, Iyayu, Idwani, was excellent throughout his lifetime, describing him as a builder and not a destroyer. Right Reverend Agara urged the congregation to emulate the virtues of late Padaji and encouraged his children to step in his shoes. There was a Thanksgiving session as guests joined the children of the deceased to thank God for surviving their father. And followed the door-to-door ride at his residence where emotions were betrayed. Guests were later treated to an elaborate reception. Speaking to newsmen, Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu SAN, represented by his Chief of Staff Olubenga Ali, said the turnout of eminent personalities at the funeral is a testimony to the good life late Pa Sunday Daji lived.
He was a repairer, he was not a destroyer. What other legacy do you want?
Children of the deceased are retired Naval Chief Rear Admiral Oladile Daji and Mr. Olajide Daji said their father would be dearly missed.
Well, we thank God that it is our prayers that we should bury our parents and not the other way around. So we give glory to God for this day. We thank God for his life. He lived a fulfilled life. If I could love, so I prefer love.
Pa Sunday Daji, popularly called Baba Water, died at the age of 83. Tunle Aruyo, Osrc News.
And after 78 purposeful and impactful years among the living, the remains of Deaconess Rosalind Araunyibo has been committed to Mother Earth in Irakoko for a journey with the Saint Triumphant. Late Rosalind Araunyibo is the mother of former Majority Leader of the Ondo State House of Assembly, Mr. Olumide Araunyibo. Said Aribisala reports that the Bishop of Akoko Diocese of Anglican Communion, Right Reverend Jacob Bada, in his sermon described the deceased as God's general who championed overcoming life's hurdle through prayer and fasting.
St. Luke's Anglican Church in Wakoko was the venue of the funeral service for late Deaconess Rosalind Araunyibo, who slept in the Lord, aged 78. The family of brilliant personalities populated the church. The Bishop of Akoko Anglican Diocese, Right Reverend Jacob Bada, described late Rosalind Araunyibo as a dedicated servant in God's vineyard.
Araunyibo was designed to be a general right from the beginning of her life. And to say that nobody is made a general without battles.
A special thanksgiving was held just as prayers were said for the family of the departed. The remains of Deaconess Araunyibo was later conveyed to the family's residence, where they were committed to Mother Earth. Children of the deceased eulogized their mother for her selfless attributes, which they said contributed to the family's success.
Mama is a prayer warrior, and she has taught me how to pray. She has taught me how to be self-reliant. She has taught me how not to believe in any other thing except God. My mom is a very nice woman. Very nice mother to me.
Venue of the reception for guests played host to eminent personalities and friends of the family, including former deputy governors Alhaji Lasisi Oluboyo and Agbola Ajayi, past and present members of the among others.
My senior colleague, and that's why we're here today, to honor him, to celebrate his mother.
All of them, they are so pleasant. They are respectful. In fact, if you know, anybody who doesn't know, we know that the mama did a very good job on them.
Hardworking, honesty, and courage. These are the qualities that the mother bestowed on them.
Legendary music maestro King Sonny Ade provided the musical spark for guests at the event. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
And moving to the foreign scene, 4 adults and 2 children have been killed when a tornado hit Madison County in the U.S. state of Iowa. It was gathered that at least 4 other adults were injured in the tornado that caused widespread damage to both homes and properties. The county's emergency management director, Douglas Ayala, told the press briefing that the incident is worse than anyone has seen in